To listen to your messages, to change your personal option,
Mobile Industry Review. The future of voicemail.
My name is Andy Munneris. I am the CEO, or I'm captain of the HelloMail ship. HelloMail is a voice messaging company. We have a consumer product. People use our product via a mobile application that is available for Android, BlackBerry and iPhone. We have installed our system. It's globally installed. We have installation in China, Thailand, Czech Republic, Panama, a whole bunch of telcos. Some are small, a couple are very large. One is taking over 5 million calls a day, and it's our software. I used to use Octel back in the late 90s, and that was my informative years of voicemail using Octel. I don't know if you remember Octel. Yeah, it is a voicemail system. It used to be, I think it was Alcatel Lucent back then. Anyway, one of the frustrations I had with it is I had to call in to listen to my messages, and I couldn't believe it. I had email. Even in '99, I had email, and I just thought, why don't they just deliver this over my email? Why do I have to call in? The history is really simple. They put it in because the coverage was crap. Right, in the early days, when everybody was doing this, it was we take it for granted now. Well, actually, we get quite a few drop calls now, so that's not a good example. But we went through an early phase where actually making a mobile call and you got the end person, and staying online with that person was hit and miss. So you put voicemail in, if you don't get them because they're out of coverage or whatever, at least you can leave a message. And also it's a revenue generator because you completing the call. And a lot of people talk about call completion. Whether they're rubbish or not is yes. If I was a carrier, I'd probably say they're not. But remember, one of the reasons they had to charge for it is because it was so expensive. There was a day when you'd pay 20, 30 bucks a voicemail license. There was a day that existed. There are a few companies around, the vendors, who made a lot of money because it was expensive. And why not? You're setting up setting up this mobile network, so everything's expensive. As time goes on, it gets commoditized because it is a piece of infrastructure, which is very important. Key point. Infrastructure eventually becomes commoditized. Commoditization means no one invests in it.
But it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed because you can't change infrastructure that easily. So, if you want to change your antenna, it's a big job. It's the same with voicemail. You buy a big system. Some of these systems are huge. Thousands of square feet, taking millions of calls a day. We can compress that into 14, probably iPods now. But where I'm going with it is it's changed so much that it's gone from being a piece of infrastructure to now being really a mobile application or an application. And that's why you've got to park what you know about voicemail. When we talk about voicemail, everyone goes answer service. Yes, that is one element of it. But the reason that we don't voice message each other today, like I don't send you a voice, well I do because I use HelloMail, but the reason that people out there haven't had this kind of capability to communicate with each other using voice, apart from calling, is because we have had to wait this long for the smartphone to arrive. And now the smartphone's arrived, it is something that I firmly believe is going to change the way that we actually converse. It is a piece of infrastructure. Yeah, you have to understand that. Now, the problem is that's fine until you start delivering phones that can do a lot, right? And what's happened now, and it's caught everyone by surprise because it's just one bit that has happened out of a lot of stuff that has changed, is that voicemail suddenly become an application. That is fundamentally important here. It's moved from being a commodity product to being something that you can deliver directly to the user via an application store. And now is when you can start to, if you like, resuscitate that service, because it's not just about answer service. It's not just about being a tool for people to leave you messages. It's also about being able to send each other voicemails. And I think, you know, when your son was born, I didn't send you a text, I didn't send you an email, I sent you a hello. And if I remember, I sang, I did stuff that for you and for me is more meaningful. Right now, I had an exchange with a very good Italian friend of mine yesterday, poor old Italy, but my kids were laughing, and we had a little exchange, and it's priceless. And that's what voicemail is about. You've got to park it, you've got to forget it, and you've got to talk about, and I think one of your previous interviews, somebody said we talk about voice messaging. Yes, that's really what it's about now. It's about a new way to communicate. My reason for getting up in the morning is that I think that is more powerful than SMS. Don't get me wrong, SMS is cool, it's great, but you cannot do sarcasm on SMS. You cannot do love. You cannot really communicate like you can in voice. So that's why I get up in the morning. What we have, what we decided to do a few years back was, it's about consumers. It's about the end user. And being separated from that and expecting the operator to figure it all out, I think it's a hard job, especially now when they've got way too much on their plate. I think, the days are gone where we used to go and have meetings at the OK Corral, the feature OK Corral. We'd be compared to other vendors based on our features, not on our capability. Features. Do you do this? Yeah. No one's going to use that. You know that, don't you? But it was nobody's fault. It's just the way engineers, talk to engineers, I guess. Look at this. How cool is that? So for me, the future is really about adding voice to the communication tools that you have. For example, if I want to communicate with a group of people, right, it's much quicker, it's much more, if you like, I can convey the message in a much easier way by talking to them.
Personable.
It's very personable. I could take it a step further, and that is that my real, the end goal here is voices today, but multimedia, simple, the ability to send very simply a multimedia message, like you can in your email. When you're in front of your desktop, you can pretty much put an email together really quickly of a bunch of stuff. The problem is on the mobile, it's very difficult to do. It's blah, 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 yeah? So the minute that we can do that easily within a messaging mechanism, that's what's the future. The ability to send a video message, the ability to send a picture and a voice message, because at the moment it's pretty boring. I mean, SMS is great, but it's a bit boring, isn't it? It's just text. I mean, multimedia is where it's at.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mobile Industry Review. The future of voicemail.